This week on the Austin Healey channel, things are starting to come together. So getting this done is a huge step. This is the thing everything else gets connected to. I'm kind of at the bottom of assembly. I have everything taken apart. I have lots of it painted or prepped and ready to go back on. It's just, I've been waiting for this to get done so I can start that process. This is the start of the bit that I like the most. I like putting things back together, especially after they're cleaned and painted with new bolts and it's all shiny and stuff. This is what gets me excited. So I have a big parts order placed. I'm not exactly sure when that will come. In the meantime, what I can do on this, I have a lot of small parts that I can put on. I have the suspension I can put on. I can actually get it, I think I have everything I need to put wheels on it. You know, the old wheels, but wheels nonetheless. Anyway, let's get started. I've been excited all weekend about getting to this point, so let's keep going. Amidst all the tools and junk I have here, these are some of the parts that can go ahead and be bolted in place. Not always completely hooked up, but at least in the right place. I think I'll start with the pedals because it's kind of an assembly, and move forward from there. I wasn't planning on showing you how I did it, but because I had to go back and look at how I did it in the Season 1 car, I decided it'd probably be a good idea to quickly go over it and show you how I put this thing together. So first of all, I got these back shackles on. They have a new pin that goes through there. One of the shackles has a taper on the inside here that lines up with where is it? Has a taper on this one, which lines up with the taper on the pin. So that's important to get.
If you have them both off, you could try to put the same one on each side. So that's no good. Anyway, I have it on there. The bolts are just finger tight because I want some flexibility when I go to put the spring on. Let's talk about these holes. What goes in them? Well, I ordered new stuff. I have these poly bushings, 2 of those and 2 of these. Getting these in these holes is very difficult. And when you do get it in, there's some issues. Let me show you. So this is the hanger, the front hanger. And this bushing fits in rather well, actually. The problem is, when you get this inside of the spring, it muffin tops. That's the word I'm going to use. The top part squishes out, and it ends up being way too long. Let me show you. I'm going to start with some lube. Always helps. Smear that around inside. And I have a piece of string. I'm going to bring that up. Hook it onto here. We're going to use that to pull it down. Get all that extra lube on there. Instead of on my finger, put it to work. There, that gets it started. And you can push it down if you're lucky. Now, as you can see, it's already out. It's already a lot longer than it started out to be. So that's not going to be any good at all when we go to put this on into the bracket. And we don't even have the metal bushing in yet. So this is going to go in. See, look at it now. By the time you get that squished in there, this is all sticking out like half an inch. So next step is to cut that off so it'll fit in the bracket. And this stuff is not easy to cut at all. So you want to cut it right above where that metal bushing is. So that bushing is just the width of the bracket. So in the end, that's what you get. And then that will actually fit through the bracket onto the car, and you're good to go. Easiest to get this one started, and then work on the back. Because then you could use this as a lever to get it all lined up right. Now the back here, there's enough of just wiggle. You can get it back down around here. And this bolt goes through. Before I put this in, I found that these new bolts, this part here, I had to grind down a bit more. There's a bit of a lip, and when you put it in here, it would catch on there's a flat spot here that keeps it from twisting. So I've had to grind it down a bit to get it to seat all the way in. Alright, we're gonna start with the front suspension. Put these poly bushes in. You gotta lube them up. And you put just one in on each side. And the hard part. Okay, now to complete this, the new bushing goes on. A big funny Millennium Falcon washer goes on, and then a bolt, a nut. Now, I've been told not to crank these all the way down until you get weight on the car and it's sitting at the correct height. So we'll do that later. It's just 4 bolts. How hard could it be? Well, I had to retap the holes because they were all full of junk. Seems like it was cutting some metal too. I had to recut the bolts because they were thickly dipped in galvanized. And then trying to get everything lined up was a pain. So in the end, it's on there. This is on an adjustable plate, which is different than original, but it will give me some possibility to adjust the suspension, the alignment of the suspension, once it's all put in, which also means I'm going to have to adjust the suspension once it's all put in. With the Season 1 and the original frame here, they were just bolts, and it went down, and it was, you know, you didn't have a lot of adjustment. Anyway, one side's in. Took about an hour. Let's do the other side. This is like the other poly bushings. You put some lube on it. Then it goes in the holes. And then they fall out. Isn't it beautiful and shiny? Be a shame if someone had to like grind the fucking paint off to weld on a nut. This is the distribution for the hydraulics for the brakes, and there's supposed to be a captive nut. Actually, it looks like a piece of tube with threads in it that's welded onto here on the original one. This one doesn't happen to have it, which really sucks. So there's no way to mount this. I have to say I'm not happy about this. There's a couple details in this frame that are missing like that, and if you don't catch them before paint, you're screwed. There, can you see it? I know it's dark. Right here, this is the part I'm talking about. It's a spacer that actually holds this off of the frame. I think what I'm going to do is cut this piece out and use it. You've seen this before. This is my method for getting the springs back up. The springs hold a lot of pressure, a lot of potential energy. You have to respect them. To get them up, I have 2 long, well, it's all thread that I'll screw up, screw into place, and then drop the regular bolts down in there and bolt them up, then replace these bit by bit. boots on the steering arm, and just like I did on season 1, I'm using wire instead of a circlip. I just think it holds better. I didn't really trust the circlips very much. They just didn't seem adequate. Now that's going to hold. The end we can just cut off. Very nice.
So I know it's a little early to put it on the ground, put the wheels on. In fact, the back brakes aren't even fully assembled. There's no shoes and no pistons or anything. But I wanted to put it on the ground for my mental health. I wanted to see it on the ground with wheels on it so it looks like a car again. This has been a really great week. I really love this point where it starts coming back together and you have all these finished parts that can just be bolted on and be done.
If you want to come along on the ride as we complete this project, click the subscribe button. If you want YouTube to tell you every time there's a new video, click the alarm bell. Thanks for watching, and your support is very much appreciated.